Awesome. So we'll get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. We're excited to have this event, which is the Immigration Program Information Session. We have 3 distinguished attorneys here with us this evening that will help with this discussion. But first, I would like to pass the baton to our president for DHU. We'll do a brief welcome.
Again, hi guys, hello and welcome. My name is Magdala Augustin. I am the president of Dallas Haitian United, also known as DHU. We are the resource center that unify and empower the Haitian community in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So once again, we want to say thank you for taking the time to join us as we talk about the immigration program information. And as Miguelina stated, we have our 3 lawyers online who will go ahead and assist us to educate us and give us the detailed knowledge that we need in order for us to assist our parents or us on having to basically assist our friends and family in Haiti. So once again, please know that to feel free to share your questions. We'll answer your question by the end of each guest session, and moderator will collect the most and upvoted questions so we can answer them for you at the end of the presentation. So do not hesitate to ask questions. Feel comfortable, and please, once again, this is something that we know that our community been wanting and requesting. So we have made the opportunity to provide this webinar for you guys today. So share, so join with us. And if you are currently online right now, please, I highly suggest you share the information also with your peers and your family member to join us. And if they have any question, we can help answer them and guide them to where they need to be. So welcome, thank you again. And we will go ahead and get started with Miguelina, who will be our narrator for this session.
Awesome. Thank you, Maggie. Next slide, please. Awesome. And again, like Maggie stated, we welcome you to speak and ask any questions in the language you're most comfortable with, whether it's in Creole, French, or English. You can add them in the chat, and we will make sure that all questions are answered by the end of this session. Next slide, please. So this is a quick agenda for this evening. So we already have a welcome, but next I will read the bios of each of our distinguished attorneys and introduce them for our discussion. Next slide. Awesome. So this evening we have attorney Patricia Elizee. She's a managing partner of Elizee Law Firm, PA, a firm that is dedicated to serving its client in the community. Ms. Elizee is a former president of the Haitian Lawyers Association. In 2016, she was voted valedictorian of the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce, top 20 under 40 class, and she currently serves as a board member for the chamber. She was appointed to the Hispanic Advisory Board of Miami-Dade County by Commissioner John Mone's team. Ms. Elizee is also a graduate of the prestigious Florida Bar Leadership Academy. She currently serves as the chair of the Immigration Committee of the Dade County Bar Association. In 2017, the Miami Herald chose Ms. Elizee to partake in the CEO Roundtable Series, where leaders in the business community asked to answer business questions for their readers. Ms. Elizee was formerly a legal fellow at Americans of Immigrant Justice, where she handled a diverse caseload. So we're very excited to have Ms. Elizee with us this evening. Our next speaker is, next slide. Thank you. We have Mr. Jules-Toussaint. Mr. Guinx immigrated to the United States after completing his secondary degree education in Haiti. He holds a bachelor in science, a master's degree in business administration, and a Juris Doctor. He is a practicing attorney in the state of Florida and practices in the areas of personal injury, bankruptcy, immigration exclusively. Along with his wife and law partner, Natchia Jules-Toussaint, Esquire, they are the owners of a quickly expanding law firm with 2 locations in South Florida. He's a member of the Florida Bar, the American Bar Association, American Immigration Lawyers Association, the Florida Justice Association, and St. Lucie County Bar Association. He's also admitted to practice in several federal courts, including the Southern District Court of Florida and the Middle District Court of Florida. Above all, Mr. Toussaint is a truly devoted Christian who is passionate about the Word of God, and he is a passionate evangelist that you might find preaching at a local church on a Sunday. Their firm, the Law of Jules-Toussaint, is fully committed in improving the lives of Haitians within their community, not only through their work, but through education, sponsorship, community service, and financial support of several financial support. The office sponsors a yearly back-to-school readiness program by providing backpacks and school supplies to lower-income children in the St. Lucie County area. They also ensure that every family has a meal during the Thanksgiving season by doing a turkey giveaway every year for the past decades to families in their community. We're very excited to have Mr. Toussaint with us this evening as well. And our third but not last speaker, next slide. We have attorney Natchia Jules-Toussaint, who has been a member of the Florida Bar since 2006. She earned her BA in 2002 for University of Florida, her Juris Doctor in 2005, and her LLM Masters in Law and Taxation in 2006 from Western Michigan University. She's a member of the Florida Bar, American Bar Association, and St. Lucie County Bar Association. She's also admitted to practice law in several federal courts, including the Southern District Court of Florida, in the Middle District Court of Florida, and the United States Tax Court. She has worked extensively in matters involving family law, immigration law, estate planning, and probate matters, criminal defense, and tax litigations. Along with her law partner and husband, attorney Guinx, they are proud owner again of the law office of Jules-Toussaint, which is located in South Florida. Again, we're very excited to have all of our distinguished attorneys, Haitians like us. So we're very excited about this evening. Before we open up the floor to questions, I would like to open up to attorney Natchia Jules-Toussaint, who wants to give the audience a brief background of our immigration system in case anybody have any questions before we go deeper into our questions for the day.
Thank you, Miguelina, and thank you. Thank you, and thank you all of you from DHU for inviting us and doing this for the Haitian community in Dallas and wherever they might be was watching us online today, and especially from our law office, Facebook. We want to say thank you for watching. And what we want to do, and not only use this opportunity to educate, but also to inform people that we do have Haitians who are capable, who are well experienced, not just in immigration, but different areas that within your own community, like Miss Patricia down in Miami, Miss Elizee with a law firm, that if you guys need questions, and I don't know about her, but both my husband and I speak Creole and some French. So if anybody have questions in Creole or in French, we'll be more than happy to assist in that language that you understand what we're saying, not just what we're saying in English, but if you were more comfortable, ask your question. We encourage people to, when they come to our office, to, speak in a language that you're comfortable with. I can help you if I understand what you need, but if I don't understand what you need, I cannot assist you. So that's the first thing. Be comfortable with the language. I want to focus on that. Ask your question in a language that we can all understand and able to respond to. So with that said, I would like to do a brief introduction of the U.S. immigration system, the structure of the immigration system. So the first, we have the Department of Homeland Security, and that's under the executive branch of the government, as you all may know. And on the DHS, or Department of Homeland Security, we have several other agencies. We have USCIS, which is the U.S. Citizen Immigration Services. And then we have Custom and Border Protection Services with its counterpart, ICE, which is Immigration and Custom Enforcement. Under DHS also, you will find FEMA and the Science and Technology agencies. But for the purpose of today, we want to focus on the two sub-agencies under DHS, USCIS, which is U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and we want to talk about Custom and Border Protection Services and ICE and their function within this new law that has been implemented by the Biden government. So if anybody has any question on the what agency that you need to submit your application to, where to apply to under this new law, those are the agency. You'll have to go with the U.S. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. That's USCIS. And we will address the issue with border and custom protection within the discussion if the question come up, but for the purpose of this discussion, those are the agencies that we're going to be focusing on under the Department of Homeland Security.
Awesome. Thank you so much for giving us that explanation. So we'll get right into it. And our first question that our members want to know, the first question will go to you, Attorney Patricia. What is the new parole program?
Sure. So thank you again for having me tonight. I'm super excited to be here with you. I remember in undergrad, I was involved with the Haitian Student Association, so I know how important it is, the work that you're doing. So congratulations, and I encourage everyone that's listening to us to continue being active, even in a professional level. So once you graduate from undergrad, you may go to law school or medical school or any other professional schools. Those schools also tend to have either a Haitian organization or a Caribbean. For example, I was the president of the Caribbean Law Association. And then when you graduate, at least down here in Florida, we have the Haitian Nurses Association, the Haitian Lawyers Association, the Haitian Chamber, this and that. So I'm just encouraging everyone to keep in contact with one another and really looking to your community when you're growing professionally. It will really help you. Okay, so right to it, the parole program. The parole program is a humanitarian program that the Biden administration has expanded. I say expanded because if you take a look at it, they started with a parole program first with members of Ukraine because of the war. They were trying to figure out what is a safe way to get Ukrainian citizens to come to the US where they have supporters in a safe manner and quickly. So they started the parole program. Then they started a separate program for Venezuelans. And from there, they've expanded it now to Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Cubans. The parole program is very different than any other immigration program that we have because it literally allows you to come to the US without a visa. And this is really important for people to understand the difference between the parole and the visa, or the parole and any other type of benefit that we may have, for example, TPS. Because with the parole, first of all, for you to qualify for it, you have to be outside of the US, right? You cannot be inside of the US. And secondly, you have to have a US supporter that's starting the petition for you. I'm sure we'll go through all of the steps, but the parole at the end of the day is the status that you're going to have in your I-94 when you enter the US. So like Council was saying prior, there's different agencies that are involved in the program. USCIS is the one that's going to be adjudicating the application online. CBP is really one of the main agencies for the whole program. CBP is Custom Border Patrol. What they're doing is they're the ones that are capturing the person's passport information on the app. But when you're at the airport, it's CBP that takes a look at all of your documents, either be a parole or a visa. or anything else, and determines are they legally allow you to come in and under what status. When you come in with a B1, B2 tourist visa, you get an I-94. So for those who may remember, I'm sure everyone here is too young, but a long time ago, you used to have a little white card that they put in your passport when you travel to the US. That little white card is the I-94. It's your permis de séjour. It tells you how long you're able to legally be in the US under what status you have. If you come in with a student visa, you have the I-94 will say you've been let into the country with a student status. If you come in with a B1, B2 visa, the I-94 will say you were let in as a tourist for this amount of time. Well, the parole now, when you come in and if you're approved to come in all the way, because remember, there's several different steps, and you're really approved for the parole when the person is physically in the US and they get that stamp on their I-94 saying that they've been paroled in by the government. So the parole is so that's a long way to explain that parole is the temporary immigration status that you're getting at the airport when you're let into this program, and it's going to be for a maximum time of 2 years. I hope that wasn't too confusing.
No, awesome. You try that's hard, but yes, like thank you so much for explaining that. And Mr. Guinx, would you like to continue from Miss Patricia's answer? Like, how do you apply for the program? How do you go about applying for it?
Thank you once again for inviting me. The steps are not really that hard. You just have to know, if you find someone that can guide you through the whole process, you should be able to, to apply. Like we mentioned before, first thing you're gonna need to do is to go on the USCIS.gov on the website so you can register. You're gonna have to create an account, and then once you create an account, assuming that you are the sponsor, there will be some eligibility that you're gonna have to be met. First, you have to know how much income that you have, what type of asset that you have, and then whether you have a full-time job and whether you can sponsor 1 or 2 or 3 people, and whether the person that's coming is going to have any dependent or whether you have dependent too. Because the first thing they look at is, of course, will you be able to qualify as a sponsor? That's what the USCIS will adjudicate that, like Council just mentioned. They will see how much income that you have, how much money that the household as a whole has to support the beneficiaries. Can you support your own house with what you're currently making? And if you can, a determination is made, then you will be able to meet the first step by trying to sponsor someone. Assuming that you meet the requirement, you have a full-time job, you have good income, and then you have some asset. It could be 401k, stock, bonds, money you have in your bank account, or it could be equity that you have in your house, as long as it can show that this is how much I own the mortgage, this is how much equity that I have. As long as you can show you have sufficient asset that can be converted into cash within 12 months, you might be okay. And then you're gonna, of course, need to provide your tax transcript. And I think the reason why it's important, because sometimes people provide with tax returns when in truth that's not the one they submit to IRS. So the government want to make sure whatever income that you're claiming is the same one that you're filing with the IRS. And then if you have, like I said, money in the bank, and then you're gonna have to submit everything, all the evidence. That's the first steps. So once USCIS review the application, everything you submit, because in the application, there are some questions that I think that some people are having issues with, because USCIS wants you to provide a plan for the person. So if you try to sponsor someone, what exactly you're gonna do for them when they come here? Because remember, you're gonna have to provide housing. How are you gonna meet that needs? And when they come, because they don't know the language, you're gonna have to take them to school. You're gonna have to register them to learn English. Then you're gonna have to help them apply for Social Security. You're gonna have to help them apply for a work permit so they can stand on their own. And then during that time, you have to show that you have sufficient means, financial means, to support them while they're there. Another thing they look at is the beneficiary itself. do they have any financial means to support themselves? That doesn't mean that they need to have a lot of money, but asking this question to see if this person, what if something happened? What if the beneficiary has sufficient means, and even that the sponsor has some issues to sponsor them? They look at that. And then that person, of course, gonna have to create an account once the applicant is submitted. USCIS reviews it. If they qualify you as a sponsor, they will send some information to the beneficiary for them to verify their info. They're gonna have to submit some document. Hopefully, they have their vaccine in place, and if they meet that requirement, everything is good, then they will receive an app where CBP1 would ask them to upload some information, their picture, vaccine card, and all that. Like Council Elizee just mentioned, you don't get a parole at a time because you're just gonna give you authorization instead of a visa to travel to the US. It is when you get through the airport, CBP will inspect you. They will do a background check, making sure that you weren't there before, you didn't commit any crime in the US in the past. Assuming that everything goes well, that's when you will be inspected. They will give you the status, the parole status that you need, that they're gonna be provided. It could be up to 2 years, it depending on the fact of circumstances. I don't know if you have any other question. I don't want to go too fast, and if anybody else want to add anything else.
I think it's important to mention the fact that there are some people automatically disqualified from applying for this program, and I don't know if Attorney Elizee or yourself want to address rules. I can start. If you were deported, if you have a ban, some people have been deported and they have a lifetime ban, they can't come back. And it's clearly stated, if you have been deported within the last 5 years, you shouldn't apply. Even if your sponsor qualified, doesn't mean you qualify. If you are in the United States and you have an extensive criminal background and you are deported back to Haiti, don't bother. It's a waste of your time. Either one of you can join in.
I mean, before Elizee goes, here's one thing too, but that's very important. Even if, like Ms. Toussaint just said, yes, the sponsor might qualify you, but you yourself has to be admissible. So the question is, are you admissible? Ms. Elizee?
Sure. So for this program, those who will not qualify are those with criminal records, right? So you can have a criminal record, but you were never deported. If you have a criminal record, you will most likely not qualify. If you were deported for the last 5 years, that's a definite no-no. If you have a bar for entry, for example, you definitely will not qualify. If you illegally try to enter the US after January 5th, you will not qualify, because don't forget, the whole purpose of the program is to deter people from entering the US illegally. So if you try to enter the US illegally after they made the announcement, they've made it very clear that you will not qualify for this program. If you entered Mexico or Panama without a proper visa after January 5th, you will also not qualify. If you're a minor traveling without a parent or guardian, this is really important for people to understand. If you're a minor, you have to travel with your parent or a legal guardian. So having a notarized letter saying, so-and-so, I gave the power, blah, 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 that's not gonna cut it for this program. Everyone says, oh, Haiti, the court system are not working. In the last 2 weeks, I've had several clients who were able to find a way to get the proper legal documentations from the Haitian courts, so that someone had the legal guardianship of the minor child, so that the minor child and their guardian would be able to participate in this program. And also there's this issue of dual nationality. If you have dual nationality, you will not qualify on your own, right? So what does that mean? As you know, every single person will need their own application. You're not able to do an application for a family. Each single person needs an application. Once the application is approved, then you can kind of group the applications together that are approved for them to be processed together. If you are Haitian and French, if you're applying on your own, you're not going to qualify. But if you are Haitian and French and your spouse is Haitian only, and you're coming to the US with your spouse in the program, then you will qualify. So that's also something to keep in mind. So generally speaking, that's the full list of people who would not qualify to participate with this new parole program.
Thank you. We
And
got
I
a quick.
think just to
Can you, before we proceed, if you guys don't mind, please, since we do have a lot of people online that speak Creole, and we did want to also have this in English and Creole. I know it might be a bit of a repetitive matter, but some of the stuff that is being said, would you please also say it in Creole for those that's online who does not speak English to also understand what is being stated?
Awesome.
Want me to go again, or?
that's not a problem. We'll try.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's push it to Creole. Well, pour moun qui parle créole yo, est-ce que nous ka expliquer programme nan ti jan pou yo?
Ok, alors programme Parole, c'est un programme humanitaire que lié. Okay? C'est un programme côté que vous apportez avec un statut temporaire humanitaire pour un maximum de 2 ans. C'est pas un statut qui garantit. C'est là que vous fin approuvé pour programme là que vous entrez aux États-Unis ou dans l'aéroport là. C'est là que officier immigration qui est entré, vous mettez stamp là sur ananifor sur papier pour vraiment ou bénéficier de statut Parole.
Merci.
Et pour ajouter sur ça, Attorney Elizee t'a dit avant, après, nous t'ai parlé de qui moun qui qualifié et qui moun qui pas qualifié pour programme là. Il t'a dit que si ou déporté ou gon ben, ça veut dire yo te dit ou pas rentrer pays ou pas rentrer dans les États-Unis pour un nombre de temps, soit pas appliqué ou pas qualifié. Et si vous êtes déporté depuis 5 ans de ça ou moins de 5 ans de ça, ou pas qualifié. Et si vous avez commis crime dans le pays, dans les États-Unis, ou aussi pas qualifié. Et si vous venez dans le border, ou avez entrer illégalement, ou pas qualifié. Et si ou même vous avez dual citizenship, ou bien ou takou nous connaissons pile nous qui sont Chili ou bien qui Dominican Republic qui get fait petite et qui petite yo ka chilien ou bien yo même yo ka dominicain et si moun sa ou madame ou gen dual citizenship l'état dominicain ou bien ta chilien haïtien li pas ka appliquer pour Paul faut gon moun qui seulement haïtien tant que spouse là madame ou mari si c'est mari ou bien madame là qui haïtien seulement et puis madame nan gen wa Chili ak haïtien yo ka qualifié but li même si le Chili et puis l'haïtien en même temps li pas ka qualifié tout so ça c'est moun qui automatiquement disqualifié pour programme et puis on l'autre bagay nous te parlé de lui tout c'est qualification sponsor qui ça sponsor même a besoin les a appliquer pour sponsorship pour regarder si yo ka qualifié pour sponsorship. So, yo dit, n'a besoin de prouver, est-ce qu'on a travail, qui font que ou gagne, qui est available pour qu'à sponsoriser moun ça. Qui plan que les moun entre les États-Unis ou gagne pour lui. Ça veut dire comment on a aider pour à l'école, comment on a aider pour appliquer pour employment autorisation, comment on va aider pour apprendre conduire bien apprendre anglais à même. So faut qu'à démontrer un plan pour moun c'est pas juste dire ouais moi je veux sponsoriser lui, bon faut qu'à montrer ou des capacités et pour un plan pour aider moun à avancer les États-Unis. Et puis on l'autre bagage avocat tout simplement mentionné c'est que yo garder sponsor mon bénéficiaire là. Yo gade bénéficiaire là pour yo ouais est-ce que bénéficiaire là pour parle est-ce que les gon font quelqu'un aider supporter tête l'entrée les États-Unis.
OK, merci. M'gon question, est-ce que un jeune ti moun qui poko gen l'âge li, est-ce que li ka entrer sous programme ça pour quoi li? Monsieur Toussaint?
Comme nous dit tout à l'heure déjà, et ça va dépendre de qui l'âge maintenant. D'ailleurs, on connaît l'âge maintenant, et puis avant que nous ayons une réponse. Parce que comme déjà dit déjà, et puis, et quand Elizee te dit, et si vous sont mineurs, vous ne pouvez pas venir pour corps, à moins que vous ayez un gardien ou bien un parent qui vient avec vous.
OK. Non, c'est déjà son question générale. Like, n'importe mineur qui parle de l'âge.
OK.
Non, depuis mon gain l'âge de majorité, après 18 ans, on peut appeler, les cas venir pour call, mais si là bas l'âge de majorité, then les pas qu'à venir. Ça clair, sans pas un parent ou bien un gardien qui accompagne.
OK. Attorney Elizee, bien, yon time ajouter sous ça? Non? OK.
Non, c'est très clair. Ça peut expliquer.
OK. So one question, I'll say it in English and then I'll say it in Creole. What if they were deported and advised to stay away from the United States for 5 to 10 years?
So, c'est une communauté discutée. So, si que ou bien on l'aide qui dit ou déporté ou pas qu'à retourner vraiment avant date, ça, même si c'est à travers de paroles là. So, on bagaille comme ça, mais encourager nous pour faire pour famille nous. Les que on moun déporté ou bien les que on moun bien en dossier dans l'immigration, tout dossier là, tout papier moun là, c'est on demande pour nous faire pour nous ka joindre document ça yo. Et on moun déporté en pile temps yo pas des documents yo encore, yo pas de bayo ou bien c'est pas ka gen contact avec avocat qui était gen avant. So même si li poko le yo ta entrer dans pays, mais vraiment encourager tout le monde pour faire en demande ou bien pour contacter un avocat pour avocat faire en demande complète dans toute agence immigration parce que pas oublier aux États-Unis comme nous t'ai expliqué il y a différentes agences qui fait immigration pas vrai il y a USCIS c'est lui-même qui fait toute application il y a CBP c'est lui-même qui fait entrer il y a ambassade là qui fait partie de State Department il y a ICE c'est lui-même qui était déporté chaque agence ça yo gen papier pour so avant que vous fait quelques bagages spécialement pour moun qui était déporté avant il est important pour que ou gen tout papier ou toute information pour que les co-op tourner ou bien les co-op essayer tourner que tout va être clair et mais gen on demande spécifique pour nous faire il est en FOIA en anglais Freedom of Information Act Request. Parce que chaque agence fédérale a une façon à travers de FOIA pour demander que tout dossier que vous voyez ou même ou bien monde qui fait demande pour par PDF par email. Donc, si vous monde déporté ou bien si vous monde a un dossier immigration et vous voulez connaître comment que le dossier va affecter sur parole ou bien comment que vous va retourner avant que n'importe avocat fait analyse complète pour vous, pas besoin de copie dossier.
Okay,
nous
merci.
vraiment supporter ça. Nous vraiment supporter ça, avocat Elizee, parce que nous-mêmes, dans l'office, nous n'avons pas moyen qu'à immigration, les gens ont été déportés tout autant, nous pas joindre FOIA. Parce que, à propos de ça, comme les dit, on a analysé bien qui ça, si mon été ben pour 10 ans, c'est on ne pas tourner encore, on pour aller waste the person money pour encore bilan sont pas aider vraiment ou encourager le faire request là pour analyser toute histoire là pour comprendre ça qui t'est passé dans le passé et comment aider si il y a deux trois waiver quelqu'un qualifié pour les l'APC tourner so qu'a fait ça so nous vraiment supporter et encourager tout le monde pour faire ça vraiment parce que c'est très important.
Thank you. So nous avons la question qui vient. Question dit, what should the beneficiaries expect on their side after the sponsor applies for them? Should they expect an email?
So they should expect 2 emails. Normalement, moun qui Haïti, bien, bon, il pas au cas que moun n'a pas Haïti, si on va nous pas dire, moun n'a qu'à Saint-Domingue, moun n'a qu'à Chili, moun n'a qu'à en Afrique, puis que sont haïtiens qui en dehors des États-Unis qualifiés pour ce programme-là. Alors, comme nous t'ai expliqué, le premier step programme, c'est que pour les gens qui sont aux États-Unis, pour approuver. Le deuxième step, pour que les gens qui apportent approuver. Il y a 2 emails normalement pour recevoir. Le premier email, c'est pour que les gens créent un compte online en USCIS.gov. Et puis, le deuxième email, c'est pour qu'ils apprennent dans le téléphone pour qu'ils voient toute information personnelle. So, online, la mettre information, etc. Pour qu'ils faire un check sur lui. Mais le téléphone, les créer app, là, la prend une photo tête li pour voyer by mon yo la pran informasyon paspor pou l'voye bay CBP pou yo ka fè un background check. Et puis après ça, kounyen pou yo ton, pou yo jwen an email avec papier parole là. So c'est un papier pour yo imprimer et puis ça avec papier ça. So yo pas besoin de visa. So au lieu de visa, papier que yo a recevoir dans email là, which is the parole travel document, c'est avec papier ça, kounyen que yo kal prendre avion pour yo entrer ici. Là yo entrer ici kounyen, yo pa chita avec yo pour yo prendre fingerprints, pour yo demander yo toute question, pour yo vérifier que yo te prend vaccin, que ceci cela, que et puis si vraiment tout ba est bien fait, yo entrer.
Okay. And do you have something to add, Ms. Toussaint?
Yes, just briefly, I just wanna vle ajoute ke program na on bagay mda vle pase nou gen anpil moun ki anpil ekspektasyon. So nou vle di yo tako ke son bagay diskresyonel liye. So again, wè ven fè tout step yo, sponsor approuvé, et puis yo voye parola et pou lo rive nan CBP ou pa jwenni, yo pa kito entre. Parce que li base sous discrétion officier kap analize là comme avocat Elizee mentionné, lo entre nan airport la net, tout autant que li pa mette sous sa pou, ou poko jamais approuvé. Dans sens général, moi, je l'ai dit ça. Tout autant, pas fin mettre dernier saut pour finaliser le processus, ou pour approuver. So, jusqu'à la dernière minute, c'est sous discrétion officielle encore.
Okay, thank you. So, après tout process a passé, combien de temps il prend pour de commencement à fini pour moun arriver dans l'aéroport? Combien de temps pour tout procès à faire pour finir?
Bon, ça va dépendre. Moi, parce que si l'application soumet et puis tout bagaille, OK, révision, il est capable de prendre une semaine, il est capable de prendre quelques jours, il est capable de prendre 2 semaines. Ça va dépendre de l'officier qui a révisé le dossier. Est-ce que le complet? Si le dossier est complet, then il est capable d'approuver qui sponsor et puis then puis aller à l'autre step. Mais ne pas qu'à dire qu'on temps défini. Vous comprenez? Parce que surtout s'il n'est pas complet, il y a un document pour bail, donc bien le bail pour dire des évidences, ça est capable de créer un petit retard dans le processus là.
So, on bail pour nous comprendre tout, c'est un nouveau programme que lié. Et il y a un pile l'application. So, parce que moi, c'est qu'on l'autre lié. Parce que il y a 2 fois mon yo ou ka wè que l'application approuvée dans 2-3 jours et puis il y a de l'autre monde avec même information et approuvé dans 3 semaines.
Et moi, ouais, il y a moun qui mette photo moun qui vini déjà. Par contre, c'est pas Miss Patricia, si ou gen client qui gen entré déjà, nous même nous pas well. Nous joindre approuvé, nous kon moun qui approuvé, nous pas ouais moun qui entré. So nous pas qu'à dire vraiment combien de temps ça va le faire.
Yeah, mais il y a plus moun captain que vraiment moun qui entré. La majorité moun yo c'est un captain.
C'est un captain. And I have another question. So how long do you guys think this program will be open for? Is there is this going to be a program for the next 2 years or is there an end date?
So as you know, I'm sure you guys have heard, right? There's a lawsuit that was filed by the Republicans to actually stop the program.
I was just going to mention.
So right now we're not really sure of the viability of the program. You know, if we're looking at it from a logical level, like on a practical level, if the Democrats have it their way, the program would be around for at least 2 years. Because what's going to happen in 2 years? Election. Who's in power now? Democrats. They're not getting rid of this program before elections, right?
Yeah.
When they announced the program, they said okay, let me switch to Creole. So si nous vraiment garder programme là, faut que nous voyons que c'est Il y a une politique là-dedans. Parce que qui est-ce qui a un pouvoir kounien, c'est démocrate. Qui est-ce qui vient avec le programme là, c'est démocrate. So, c'est sûr que il n'y a pas pour retirer le programme là en 22 ans, parce que dans 2 ans, il y a une élection qui va venir. Ça, c'est le premier bail que moi, ouais. Malheureusement, nous n'avons pas aucune garantie de combien de temps que le programme là a plat ou pas plat. Parce que là, il a été fait, annoncer le programme là, il a dit que c'est de temps en temps qu'il a regardé qui j'ai programme là, il y a si il y a Kembel ou bien si il n'y a pas Kembel. So, nous ne pouvons pas connaître. Malheureusement, il y a un dossier que les républicains ont commencé dans le tribunal pour que le programme n'a pas continué. Nous ne pouvons pas connaître exactement qui gens, le juge, il peut décider si le programme là pour continuer ou bien pour mettre en pause, etc. Donc, c'est garder que nous avons gardé pour nous.
Mr. Toussaint, Mrs. Toussaint, anything you want to add?
Well, I mean, we are of the same position. No back on Vermakile, but you know, it's purely politics at this point. And just like the student loan program that the Biden administration initiated, this program is, without sounding a little bit biased, is similarly the same. We got offered something, nothing for something, and we don't know how long and how long it's going to last and how many people will benefit from it. So good, Attorney Elizee, the Republican governor, including our governor here, and I believe yours also joining as well, DeSantis and Communal and Haitian Dasa team already challenged it, and Abbott already challenged it. So we don't know what the court is gonna do, whether they're gonna overturn it and moving forward, and how long it's gonna stay. Again, just like the student loan forgiveness program, it's kind of the same. So it's, you know, while they're here in 2 years, we might get the benefit or the illusion that we are getting something. But, you know, we all know the true intent behind this program.
So, malheureusement, ça que j'ai remarqué, c'est là, il y a un programme pour Vénézuéliens seulement, parce qu'il y a aucun républicain qui a commencé aucune sorte de dossier dans le tribunal.
No, not for the Ukrainian either.
Ou bien, so, mais si vous bien regardez tout, il y a un programme pour Ukraine, blanc, il y a un programme pour Venezuela, majorité vénézuélien blanc, et Kounia, il y a une extension là, pour Haïti, Cuba et Nicaragua, qui est extrêmement différent. Peuple haïtien, peuple cubain, peuple nicaraguayen, complètement différent que le peuple Venezuela et le peuple Ukraine. So, est-ce que c'est à cause de ça que vous voulez suspendre le programme là? Nous pas vraiment connaître vraie raison, mais c'est ça que moi-même personnellement pensé. D'après que ça que vous mettez dans le papier que vous voyez dans le tribunal, je trouvais que le département of Homeland Security, ils ont déplacé. Qui veut dire que d'après eux-mêmes, Department of Homeland Security n'a pas de pouvoir pour quitter tout le monde ça yo entrer. Parce que c'est pas place. Et spécialement, so it's beyond their powers. Et spécialement parce que qui est-ce qui peut avoir un impact sur ça, c'est État. So, c'est Floride, c'est Texas, c'est État qui a poursuivi pour qui ça, parce que tout le monde fait l'école, quand il y a un si on a un problème, c'est l'hôpital, that's not the federal, that's state. So, c'est position ça que yo prend. So, je ne sais pas qui ça tribunal n'a pas dit, parce que normalement parlant, on cause immigration, qui est-ce qui quitte entrer dans le pays, normalement, c'est on cause qui régler au niveau fédéral. You know? So, c'est un pour nous, ouais. C'est sûr que dossier ça, on court tout l'autre dossier par la Cour suprême. Parce que pas oublier, Trump lui-même a essayé d'annuler TPS pour Haïti et l'autre pays. Mais yo al tribunal jusqu'à ce que tout dossier arrive dans Supreme Court, la Cour suprême. Mboko même kon m'pa kwa que yo prend décision. Dossier ça yo.
It's still pending as of today. And
You know,
but
so
I mean that argument in itself, not to cut you off, but that argument in itself, the challenge that the states have, I think that's very not it's kind of like borderline frivolous because they're telling us that DHS doesn't have. And as you mentioned, this is a national security issue, which falls right under Department of Homeland Security jurisdiction. And they're telling the state is not the one who make those type of national citizenship or national immigration decision. It's strictly in their area under the executive branch. And now they're telling us that the executive branch doesn't have the power to do so, which contradicts itself. So that argument, I mean, that's what they have going forward. But then again, it was okay when it was extended to the Ukrainian. It was okay when it was extended to the Venezuelan. But now that they have extended it to those brown folks, then it became a problem. But on top of that, I do have, like personally, I do have some issues because a lot of things we're not talking about here today is why the Biden administration extended the programs out to the Venezuelan and the Haitians and the Nicaraguans and the Cubans. So I know there haven't been any question asked, but you are having that influx of immigrants at the border, and it was costing them a lot of money, and it was creating backlogs in the court system. So part of it is the deterrence. I think that was very important to them, that they will encourage people to stay in their own country and apply, try to get sponsorship, and transferring the cost to the applicants themselves and not allowing them to pile up at the border where ICE didn't have enough space facility to be the capacity to house those people. And they have to pay it out, all those private contractors to spend a lot of money. And they didn't border custom and border protection didn't have enough agents to try to process, and then that in itself flow over to the courts. We have a backlog. We have hearings that have been canceled and rescheduled to 2024, 2025. They can go to all these asylum immigrations and giving them master's calendars and then having individual hearings. So they have to keep postponing it because they don't have, it's costly to the government to have all these people out at the borders. So they're telling them, stay in your country and apply within your country and get parole then instead. So they transfer the cost to the applicants and the sponsors. So, I mean, we have to address that part of the intent or motive behind the program itself. So to me, that was the main reason they did that.
Yes. No, thank you for really explaining it, because I feel like you had something to add. Go ahead.
No, I was asking Miss Elizee if she had, I mean, you might differ or be of a different opinion than myself, but that's how I see it.
You know, it's part of it, I think. You know, in anything that you do, this is a big problem we have, a big immigration problem. There's going to be good and bad on any policy or any program that they put forward. You know, this is a great program. I think it's going to help a lot of Haitians, a lot of families reunify. I think it's going to help a lot of families that have been separated longer than necessary because of the U.S. Embassy not functioning at a full level in Haiti because of Pays-Louis and how dangerous it's been. You know, I have clients that have been waiting for over 2 years for an appointment at the U.S. Embassy. This program allows those people to bypass the embassy, come to the U.S. and finish their applications. I think that's amazing. That's what I was most excited about. But at the same time, this program does not help a lot of Haitians who are looking to leave Haiti. So, petit peuple, you know, the poor Haitian that doesn't have a passport, the poor Haitian that doesn't have family in the U.S., the poor Haitian that doesn't have access to a computer or to a cell phone. The Haitian that is trying to get on a boat at any, you know, saving his money for like years to get on a boat to come because he's fearing persecution may not be able to have access to actually participate in this program. And that's the reality of it. And we have to be mindful of it. More people with access, more people with money, more people with families in the US will benefit versus the poor. You know, so then there's, you know, in anything that they do, there's going to be good, there's going to be bad. We're not going to find a perfect solution. And there are people who are complaining that you should still allow people to come at the border because of these issues, right? So I'm just happy I'm not the one in charge of finding the perfect solution, because I don't think there will be, you know?
Well, I think this is where all of us, you know, like when we have discussions like this, and, you know, there's more discussion in the Haitian diaspora, when we come together and really see what's happening, and really we can educate each other, we can have open discussions like this. And really, I think, like, you know, things will change for Haiti. It might take a long time, but I think with all of us, like, knowing what's happening behind the scene, what's really hurting our country, I think, like, that's how, like, one day we'll be able to make change. We just have 3 more questions before we're done. Someone asked, what's the fee to apply for the program, and how many people can you file for at once?
You want to take that?
There's no filing fee. And you can apply for as many people that you can afford to bring.
What's the fee?
There's no filing fee.
Oh, there's no filing fee. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear that. And the last question we have is, can you sponsor someone you're not related to? Like, can you adopt a kid, or can you adopt someone?
Well, that would bring the issue. If you're applying for a kid that you're not related to, you need that child will. Si moun sa fol ta vini ak an guardian ou bien ak an parent, so wap oblige aplike pou de moun si se pa ou ki pou al chèche le directement, because you pa ka travel pou call. Et gon lot bagay implemensyone, nou refere moun sou the poverty guideline that's listed on the USCIS website. Gon guideline, on pauvreté guideline ki di combien moun, même just wap aplike pou un beneficiary, pour soit filing your I-130, wap aplike pou moun li di combien nombre de corps vous supposez faire, soit appliqué pour 2 moun, soit appliqué pour 3 ou 4 moun, et si ou gen combien dépendant dans caillou, mais combien l'argent supposé faire avant qu'à appliquer. So as a point of referral, people should look at that before you go apply for 6-5 different people, to see how much you make, how many dependents you have, and how many people are within your household.
Awesome, thank you. Attorney Elizee, any last words? We're coming up on time, and then I'll pass it to the Toussaints.
So you mentioned adoption. You guys have to be very careful. So, après c'est que ka entre un petit moun ou bien un moun et puis adopter et moun n'a pas une résidence. Okay? It's not that simple. Ni pas comme ça. Il y a des lois internationales qui il faut respecter. So, premièrement, ça c'est premier. Si nous avons plan pour nous bailler un petit moun résidence à travers de programme ça, faut que vraiment contacter un avocat, parce que gain international adoptions et puis loi immigration yo très strict. La façon qu'on baille un petit moun pour adopter là-dessus. Okay, so be careful about that. This is the first time it's come up in any questions and answers I've done about the parole program, so I just really wanted to highlight that, because I know Haitians are really quick to try to adopt someone. So just be careful, okay?
Just tell them Haiti is part of the Hague Convention, so you need to be careful, as she said.
Awesome. Well, I think we're coming up on time. I want to thank all the attorneys for coming out this evening and really engaging in this discussion. We're very grateful for having you guys with us this evening, and you were able to answer the questions for us in both English and French and Creole. They're all the same. But yeah, we really appreciate you. And now I'm going to pass it to Daniel or Jay. I don't know which one of you are here for last words and what's coming next up. Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, this is Jay Jules here. I'm the vice president of the group. Sorry, I missed a little bit of the beginning, more meetings. No, I mean, first of all, I want to say thank you to all the lawyers in the room. Of course, my own sister, Natchia, and of course, brother-in-law Guinx, and as well as Miss Patricia. Thank you so much. That's we did certainly appreciate the gesture. I think it's a great turnout and some really good information. I'm not applying for anybody, but hopefully somebody in this meeting will. So thank you for that. And then thank you, Miguelina, who kind of spent a lot of time putting this whole thing together. Great work there, and the whole team, Daniel, Madam President, Maggie. I call her the Mag, so I don't remember the real name. But thank you so much, and we certainly appreciate it. And it is a great session. And then, of course, from a DHU perspective, please look out for all our emails. We're blasting everybody. I believe this meeting was recorded, so it will be shared to all our social media sites, or you can check our website out, DHU 1804.com. I know you can find us on IG as well under Dallas Haitians United, as well as Facebook. So if you want to pass the recording to your friends and family who couldn't not make it today, so that'll be great. And then of course we have other event going on for DHU. We have one coming up on the 10th, which is Galentine. So for you love birds and couples, so we have a great event locally here. So please check out our website and get your tickets, and we'll see you on the 10th. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. And yes, their attorney's information will be shared with the team. So I will reach to them and then get their information, and then we'll send it through your email. So if you want to connect with Attorney Patricia or the Toussaints, we'll get you their contact information. Again, thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. Goodbye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. And Miss Patricia, nice meeting you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.